Rochelle. So I'm gonna start the presentation right here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for having me. It's so exciting to be presenting what we've been doing in our university. And first of all, sorry if I made some English mistakes. English is not my first language, so I'll do my best to make it clear as possible and make it easy. So, as Rochelle was saying, my name is Alfredo Nanni, and right now I'm the Sustainability Project Coordinator at UDEM, Universidad de Monterrey, in Mexico. So that's me. So you can know me now. I studied at UDEM too. My undergraduate program was in mechanical engineering. And for some reasons, unknown reasons, I fell into the environmental sciences master's degree, and I went through that path. When I finished, after doing the master's in environmental engineering, I started working at General Motors. And I can say it was super fun, but I didn't feel it was something I wanted to do the rest of my life. And a few years later, they called me from UDEM that they were doing and creating the sustainability office. And there was a position and asked me if I wanted to take it. So I took it, and I'm super happy to be here. One thing I think I have to tell you is that I work from 8 to 5 as the Sustainability Project Coordinator, and from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. I'm part of the faculty. So I think that part has been very important in the incorporation of sustainability into the curriculum, because it's been easier talking to my colleagues from faculty, being part of faculty and not being part of the sustainability office. So I think that has been a key factor of the things we've been doing. So today I'm going to talk to you about the general information. I think that Mexico is quite different from the US and Canada, and sustainability is quite a new thing. Then I'll talk about what sustainability at UDEM has been and what we're doing, what we struggle with, and where we're heading. Then I'll talk about our Living Lab program, and that's into quotations because it's not an institutionalized program, but we're trying to do it. So I was talking to Rachel a few minutes ago, telling her that probably that's the next step for us. Then I'll talk to you about challenges, and finally some questions and answers. Hopefully I can answer all of them. So our university, it's a private Catholic university, and it was founded July 8, 1969 by 5 different congregations. And we had 3 main principles. And the one I love the most is the third one. The human being will only achieve self-fulfillment by serving other human beings. So that's one thing we tell our students, that they come here to learn, but if they do not apply what they learn to do something good, it's not worth it. So I think that principle has been very helpful to get recognition from the students, from faculty, and from the university. Where is Mexico and where's Monterrey? So we are near the border with the US, near Laredo. It's a 2-hour drive. It's quite a big city. It's one of the mega cities in Mexico. We have about 5 million people. So that's quite a lot of people around here. And we have just one campus. Inside the campus, we have 6 schools and 8,760 undergrad students. They are full-time. We had 693 graduate students and 1,239 from medical specialties. So the ones that are in campus are undergraduate programs and graduate programs. The ones that are doing medical specialties, they are in the hospitals that do not belong to us, but so they're not here. I think I'm not sure, but I think we're a mid-sized campus compared with some of the US. But with those numbers, I think that's helpful to create a big picture. That's the entrance to the university, and if you would like to come someday, you will be amazed by the mountains. So we are in between the mountains, so we have a terrific view. Another thing that's very good right now, and I'm super happy about that, is that all new buildings are being built using LEED. So that's very good. So we are having another building built, and hopefully it will be LEED Gold. We are not having students help with that, but hopefully in the future we will have that. Also, we want to establish a LEED Lab program, but I haven't had the time yet. Okay, the Sustainability Office was founded in 2011, so we're a quite new office. And when they established the office, we didn't know what sustainability really was and all the implications. So in 2012, we became part of ASHI, and we started using stars. And I think this is worth to mention because all we need from stars, we have been trying to incorporate it into the courses or theses or activities to get data and create programs to, well, get a better rank, like a better level in sustainability in stars. In 2014, it stopped. It was an international program right at that moment. It stopped being a pilot. So we applied and we got like the first level with 25 points barely. And in 2017, we got silver. Also, now we have one person that's part of the advisory council. So I think we're doing a great job. Well, at least that's what I keep telling myself. Then the sustainability office. Our sustainability office is formed by 4 persons. So we have 4 people working there. I get in charge of trying to do as much as possible, like everything. One person is in charge of education, and the other one is in charge of students, working with students and see what they want to do or what they need to be helped with. So our mission is to make our university an example of sustainability. So I think that's a lot to ask, but I think we're heading on the right path. And how are we doing it? We have been trying to incorporate sustainability into the curriculum. And at UDEM, we have 2 different kind of programs. You have to take all the academic courses, and you have to take some co-curricular courses. So we have been working with faculty and with teachers from the co-curricular courses on how to incorporate sustainability. One of the things we strongly believe is that sustainability cannot only be taught. It's not worth it for anyone to know a lot about climate change if they don't or cannot apply it to their lives or to create something new. So basically, that's what we think. And we have been doing it in so many different ways, and I'm going to explain how we've been doing that. And living labs. So I think what we've been doing is we do not have a formalized program on living labs, but we have been working with faculty and teachers and staff and students. The way we've been doing it is one-on-one. So every time I see some course that I think it could be turning into a sustainable course, or there's a way to incorporate sustainability into that course, I send an email to the teacher and ask him or her out to drink coffee. So I buy them coffee. I go to their offices and be like, hey, I'm from the sustainability office. And we have been incorporating sustainability in different ways. Our latest meeting was with a teacher from manufacturing processes. So in these courses, they learn what's the process to create aluminum, but they do not evaluate the environmental and social impacts of the manufacturing process. So when I went to the teacher, I was like, hey, I found these books are really cool about the environmental problems of manufacturing certain like materials. How can I help you to incorporate that into your course? That's just incorporating sustainability into the curriculum. But then when we see other courses that are or can do something in campus, we go and offer them help. So when we go to them or approach them, we always tell them, hey, they don't have to go out. They don't have just to learn the theory. They can do something in campus that will be helpful for you, for students, and for the sustainability office. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. And many of them have accepted, even though it requires extra effort. And then making meaningful connections. Not all the time I reach to them just because of work. So sometimes I call them on their birthdays, how they're doing. I know it's extra work and it requires a lot of time to make connections, but once you create that, there will be your best allies in all the how to make things happen in campus. And as I mentioned, it's one-on-one coffee talk. I mean, sometimes it's expensive. I just buy the regular coffee. And how have we been incorporating sustainability into activities that happen in campus and into courses? Well, I try to make the classification. So we have undergraduate thesis projects. Every student upon graduation has to take or create a project. And we have been creating a lot of options for them. So when the time comes, we reach their students and be like, hey, we have this project. It's going to be in campus. You want to do it? Not many accept that because they want to go out and start working in the industry or somewhere else. But some of them, they do. And they're really good projects. Then I mentioned that we talk to faculty, how like invite them to incorporate sustainability. So specific projects do apply in campus. And I think we're growing that part and interest in our office and in sustainability. Then we have individual projects. Some students just reach out to us and they're like, hey, I want to do this. I have this idea. It's not part of a class, but I have time to spend on that. And I want it to be meaningful for the university. So we try to help them out. We are starting on the research projects. We have a research division. So where we're trying to do that, there is that we need some things to be done and they need to publish. So we're making that bridge to create something worth it and valuable for the university, for the faculty member, and for students. Then we have been doing something in our co-curricular courses. We had something in our resident halls. We have some other projects that are just for fun. They're just like very few, and I'm not gonna talk about those. And then we have internships that are focused in STARS research database. And we have service learning projects. They're not as living labs projects, but service learning is mandatory in the university. So every student has to take at least 2 courses focused in service learning. So I was talking about undergraduate thesis projects. So one of the projects I want to talk about is that our students created an electric car and an electric bicycle. And one was for our security department. Our university is on the mountains, so it's really hard to go from one side to another. And they didn't want to buy a car that was using petrol because of pollution, so they created a car. They built it from zero. They found that old car and make it electric. And it was given for our security staff. And now it goes around campus, so you can see it. Oh, hey, that's the electric car that students made. And when our parents or students are coming, like new prospects, they always talk about that. So I think it's also a good marketing thing. And the bicycle thing was given to our when we sent packages and letters. One guy was walking all around campus, so they gave the electric bicycle for that guy. So we're making his life better, hopefully. Oh, well, one thing right here is that we don't have the amount of people to help us out to give or track old projects from students from the undergraduate thesis projects. So we do not have all of them identified. So I think that's a good area of opportunity for us, and try to identify what projects are being doing in campus. We know a few, but I think so many are out of our knowledge. So I think that would be a good area of opportunities. And what we offer them is not like a complete self-guidance. You just give them hints or how to find information, and we try to be helpful as possible. Then on academic courses, right now we are doing a carbon footprint of the institution. 2 years ago, I met the faculty member. She teaches climate mitigation alternatives, and she didn't have a project to do with her students. So I reached out to her and I asked her for help. We need a carbon footprint. Right now we have scope 1 and 2, so we want to do scope 3. And she said, well, this fits perfect for my course. And right now the students are collecting all the data, making all the calculations, and their final project, or what they're giving away, is the result. So right now they're trying and going to all the departments, trying to collect data on travel, on purchases and stuff. So I think it's a good project, and it's linked with faculty. Also, we do have an energy conservation plan, but right now no one is using it, and it's quite antique and not very useful. So students from the energy class, they're trying to make it easier and to make it to date. So that's a good thing. The other one is right now we do not have or not buying renewable energy. So students from Renewable Energy 101, they are creating a proposal that we will take to our president with two options. What if we buy renewable energy from the system, or what if we implement solar cells? So they've been working with this project for almost 6 months, and the proposal is almost ready. So they're learning, and hopefully if our president buys the proposal, they will see their project implemented in campus. One of the other projects we have with faculty is we have a ton of products we're buying, but we do not have a life cycle assessment of everything. So part of the life cycle assessment class, they are identifying products and doing the analysis for each. At the very end, what we want to create is a green product manual or inventory, so we can hand out to purchase, so they can have a tool. We have also been working with the waste management class, and what they do is every semester they try to identify what's the waste, how much waste we are generating, how can we separate it, how can we make it smaller, minimize our use. And I think it's always worth it to know how waste is behaving, and what we're generating every semester is different. And also we have part of the civil engineering courses. I don't remember the name, but what they're doing is they're identifying the trees in campus. They started doing just because they needed to learn how to identify trees in some way and measure the how big it was. But then they found a platform that is for counting trees. So we make the link between the association with the platform, the faculty member, and ourselves. So all the trees inside our campus I identify, and the next step is to tag them and to make tags so students can know what kind of trees we have. Then we have individual projects. We do have a waste management program that you can see on the right, sorry. But some students just want to do something and make people aware of the problems. So it's not an established project, it's not formal, but they do it. And we have a community garden. We do have some classes that go there and learn how to do it, but we have some other students that just appear and go to the community garden and they want to volunteer. So I think that's a good thing. Then talking about research projects, we want to make or create valuable information. So we have a mobility plan, but in this mobility plan, we really don't know how much we're helping or not helping. So we have a sustainable mobility class, and what they will be doing is to evaluate, was it worth it to create a mobility plan? We have certain buses that go around the city. We have a cycling program. So at the end of the program, we want to know how much good we did, hopefully. Then talking about co-curricular courses, it was quite easy to work with the people from student affairs. So we create a line of courses, co-curricular courses you can take. And if you take one of each, like number 1, number 2, number 3, and then you can choose between leadership or change management, when you graduate, you get a diploma on sustainability. So part of these courses, they try to make a project inside the campus. So specifically in the environmental impact course, the students have to identify problems inside campus, and they had to make a proposal of change behavior. So far we had so many like proposals. Some of them just die at the end of the semester, but some of them are like really cool, and the student at the end of the course thinks it's worth it to keep doing it, and they keep on doing that even they are not part of the class anymore. For example, this is one example I like a lot. We have one student that she was concerned about sustainable education, that not everyone knows what sustainability is and how sometimes there's a lot of greenwashing. So she was committed into educating people. So she created a Facebook fan page and started to collect likes from everyone from campus and started educating. And the semester finished, but she kept doing that, and she's doing it still. So I think it's a good example of how something that just was just for a semester kept on going. Talking about resident halls program, we do not have someone working with the residents right now, but they are just working because they think that it's the right thing to do. So they created a compost program. So they're collecting all the waste from the buildings and send it to compost. Also, they've been working on the community garden, and they keep it pretty. They go and harvest and seed everything like during the semester, and that's a good thing. They also created a turn off the lights program, and every time when students arrive to the residence hall, they invite students to turn off the lights when they don't need it, in order to lower our consumption of energy. They do follow our separate your waste, and they start doing the don't use plastic bags, because when they go to purchase their monthly food and stuff, they were bringing plastic bags. So they created a program where they can lend them reusable bags. So I think that's been working a lot, and I think I will like it. And basically, I think I have many more examples of what we've been doing. Some of them are like, we give it a shot. It's not what we were expecting to. And talking about the challenges is that it's not an institutionalized program of living labs. We have been doing it like one-on-one. So I think if we recognize faculty and students and student groups that are doing something inside the university, will be very helpful for them and for us, because that way we can make the partnership visible. And if we make it visible, probably more and more would add to our costs. I think another thing I have to make is create a database of projects, because doing so many activities, like sometimes left this part like in the back. And if we create a database, like anyone could just jump in, select something, and start working on that. I really have no idea how to do that or how it would be helpful, but it's the next step. And funding and follow-up of projects. I think we didn't have someone to work with the Living Lab initiative. So basically, it's me who's going to be doing it. So I need to start doing something to follow up with the project. Some of them I just like talk at the beginning of it, and something happened and I know nothing during the process until the very end. We do have some money to give away to student groups, but I don't know how to decide how to give it to someone. So I think that's a next step I have to take. And well, of course, there are so many things to do. And yeah, hopefully this was like helpful for everyone. And I don't know if you had some questions, answers, suggestions, like anything.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alfredo. That was a wonderful presentation. We do have a question that's come in from Suzanne, and she has asked, what program do you use for tagging campus trees?
Let me, it's a Mexican initiative. It was made by one of our faculty members, and it's called Bosque Urbano Mexico. It's BUM, Bosque Urbano Mexico. I can send you the link. And what they're doing is they're matching Google Maps with the trees. So you identify it on georreferencial.
Wow, that's really amazing. If do you have, you can put the link, Alfredo, in the chat box, or we can send it out afterward when I
Let
send
me
out
do
the
that right now.
recording. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay.
That's the link.
Wonderful. Thank you. In real time. One question I had for you, Alfredo, is about this phenomenon you discussed, which I can relate to, in that there are other instructors on your campus who are probably doing experiential learning tied to sustainability, but you don't know about them yet. Do you have any, what are your thoughts on how to best engage the people who you haven't surfaced during your first or during your ongoing coffee chats? Do you have any ideas on how to best engage people who currently aren't aware of the campus as a living lab initiatives underway, or the support that you can offer them?
Whoa. I think if we make it official and we get support from my vice president, that would be very helpful to make it noticeable for everyone. And once you know it's official and you can help out with something, I think some other people might join the movement because you get recognition.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm able right now to give economic incentives, but that would be helpful too.
Sure. So recognition and funding are two key ideas, and that ties into our next question from Craig, who asks, how do you fund your activities right now?
Right now, some of the fundings I have a budget from the sustainability office, and I can use that money to fund certain projects. But last year, our vice president of students affairs got, I think, $100,000 to fund projects from students, sorry. So that's one way we get the funding from our personal budget, from the office budget, and we had that other budget to help students initiatives. And that's so far what we have. I don't know if that's a good answer.
I think that's a perfect answer, Alfredo. Just a reminder, folks, if you have questions, feel free to unmute or to type your question in the chat box, as a couple of you have done already, and thank you for those questions. Something I would like to know a little bit more about is your co-curricular courses. So am I correct in understanding that this is not for credit, but they would get a diploma out of it? Can you tell me a bit more about the co-curricular initiative?
Yes, co-curricular courses at UDEM are mandatory. So every student has to take 4 courses. And they are free to decide what courses they want to take. Some of them take salsa or tango or pottery classes, yoga, but we make these like specific routes where if you choose these courses, like these 4 courses, you get a diploma. That's like the incentive to take those. We have many of our students, they come and they say it's a co-curricular course. I want to take yoga or want to go and play soccer. But some of them do see that there's an opportunity to gain something from these courses. They do have credits, but they only have 3 credits. And academic courses have 6 credits. So that's what we've been trying to do. So you want to learn about sustainability through curricular courses, you can take these 4 courses. You get a diploma and you learn something. And these courses are not theoretical. You have to learn by experience. So that's why the projects they make in these courses have to do something that happens in campus. So in the environmental impact course, students are encouraged to go around and see what problems they see. Some of our students were troubled by how many cigarette butts were in some areas of campus. And so they started making a survey, asking why they were throwing it on the floor. And they came out with an idea of creating a fun way to toss the cigarette butt in certain deposits. Basically, that's it.
Thank you. That's a very interesting approach. We don't have anything like that at our institution as far as co-curricular courses leading to a diploma, but we do have co-curricular options. So that's an interesting way to see it formalized at your institution.
Yeah, I think it was the easiest way to incorporate sustainability because the student affairs team is like super green. So when we tried to do it through the faculty or the academic courses, they weren't very into it, but she really bought into it. So she made the option, like you can take any course you want, but we can offer different options and incentives.
That's wonderful. Another question that came to mind in listening to your presentation is the leadership it seems your institution has expressed towards sustainability. Is it your sense that other Mexican post-secondary institutions are following suit, or what's the uptake for sustainability right now in Mexico at universities and colleges?
Well, sustainability is not that popular right now here in Mexico. Only, I think there are like 20 institutions that belong to ASHI, but only 2 of them are applying to STARS. We know all the universities and we have good friends in other colleges and universities in Mexico. And I think I feel happy and honored that they come to us to learn about sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know everything or much, but we have been working with them. It's quite a new thing. So I think we have like so many areas of opportunity. And yeah, I think it's a great area to start working in Mexico and Latin American countries because we see it quite different.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. Thank you for that. I'll give, I know Alfredo has a meeting following on the heels of this presentation, so I'll make one last call for questions or comments from our webinar participants. And a reminder that we will be posting a video recording of today's webinar to the Google Drive, so folks who were unable to join us today can also listen and view and learn more about Alfredo's work. Okay, well, not seeing any questions coming in, I would also put forward the option of contacting Alfredo via email. We'll send out his contact details. Oh, here, again, in real time, this is excellent. Alfredo is going to bring up his email address. So if you have specific questions or you want to follow up, maybe organize a coffee when you're next in Monterrey, you can get in touch with Alfredo there. And want to thank you all for your attendance today. And Alfredo, thank you so much for taking the time to share your insights and stories and expertise with us. We truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you and everyone for listening. And yeah, if you ever want to come to Mexico and Monterrey, feel free to send me an email.
Excellent. Wishing you all a great rest of your day and rest of your week. Our next call will be on Thursday, July 12th. And that's all for today. Thanks again.
Thank you.